From the basement of La Penta, this is WICR.
It is truly a special time, as tomorrow we will be gifted again with the start of the UEFA Champions League. There is not many things in sports that can get you more excited. I'm Jersey Joe Archino, back here with the Sports Vault. And I think the match tomorrow that kind of starts everything off is Manchester City and Juventus. Now, I think it's in Group D, and I think right now those are clearly the two front runners. But I mean, when you look at two giants of world football, this is it. Juventus obviously winning 4 of the last Italian titles, the runners-up in the UEFA Champions League last year. But they haven't gotten off to a very good start in Serie A this year. They got a draw this weekend. They lost their previous 2 matches. And it's been the first time in 87 years that they lost the first 2 matches in their Serie A season. So they have not gotten off to a good start. This is not the Juventus side we've been so used to seeing. When we look across the other side to Manchester City, it's been obviously perfection to start their season in the English Premier League. 5 wins from 5 and no goals conceded. So literally they have been perfect to start their season. When we look at this match tomorrow, right now City is riding high. It is at the Etihad, so they are home for their first match to start off their campaign in the Champions League. I think they're in very good shape. The only thing that you worry about right now with City is no Sergio Aguero going tomorrow. But the important thing, and the two guys have orchestrated everything for them, has been David Silva and then Raheem Sterling. The pressure that the two of them have been putting on other opposing defenses, the way that they regain possession of the ball, and especially the speed. The one thing I don't think Juventus has any match for tomorrow against Manchester City is the speed that Silva and Sterling bring. The way that they attack and possess the ball and they regain possession so quickly. I just think when you look at Italian sides, especially Juventus this year without a lot of key pieces like Arturo Vidal, there are going to be missing those attacking guys who really do a good job. I mean, Juventus, I think their game plan here is they've got to succeed in the counterattack. They're going to lose possession to Manchester City. Manchester City is just too talented offensively in their attack. Sterling and Silva are too good right now, and they're going to win possession. What Juventus is going to have to do in order to create offense is they've got to counter, and they've got to counter well. I just don't think right now Man City is in a position where they're going to. I think they win this one tomorrow. It'll be interesting without Aguero, but again, I think right now Sterling and Silva did not play in Man City's match on Saturday. They had that one off against Crystal Palace, and it was it was not easy. City had found the late goal, but they did win 1-0. And again, that's been the story for City is it hasn't always been Aguero. Aguero has been getting going very early. He's been fantastic to start the season for Manchester City. But I think the two names that have really been the most consistent and dominant have been Raheem Sterling and David Silva. And the way that they play off of each other is one thing that, again, the speed that they bring and the way that they're playing off of each other, setting people up, creating opportunities. We saw Sterling score his first goal of the season before this last weekend. Obviously, again, Silva and Sterling did not get the go, but they are good to go for tomorrow's match against Juventus. And it's the reason that you watch, because when you get heavyweights like this, the first week of the Champions League being back, it doesn't get much better, and especially when you have a powerhouse like Juventus who's been down a little bit. Again, a lot of people think this is a new challenge, it's a new mindset, it's a new fresh slate to look at things, and that is certainly something, and Juventus is never ever a side you can underestimate, because Italian teams, it doesn't matter. I mean, people like to knock Serie A sometimes, but the way that football is played in Serie A gives people a lot of problems. I mean, we always hear a lot of people brag and highlight who has the best, but when we see a lot, Italian sides, tactics, the formations, the way that their defense is played, it is difficult when you don't play them on a regular basis, and that is something that I think you look at, and there might be a little bit of concern there, but again, if you need to know two names going into tomorrow, I think the only two you need to look at are David Silva, Raheem Sterling, no Aguero, but I'm going with Man City here. I think they're playing too well right now. They have too much confidence. Vincent Kompany is the other one that you have to talk about. I mean, Vincent Company, obviously last season was kind of defined by injuries, setbacks. He was never really in his consistent form, but he is back. He scored goals starting the season, so he's riding off a lot of confidence. He's been healthy. The Man City defensive side has been terrific. That back line has played very, very well, and Joe Hart has played very well as well. I think he saw the most pressure he's seen so far in any match this season against Crystal Palace, and he was fantastic. So everything right now is going very well for City, and for a club that has such high expectations in the Champions League and such a desire to succeed in the Champions League, right now you couldn't ask for a better time and to be in a better form, especially after having the break. Now you get warmed back up with the win against Crystal Palace. Man City, Juventus tomorrow, certainly something that cannot be missed. We'll be watching and taping a live show of it, again, recapping it all. But again, the two names, Raheem Sterling, David Silva, be in front of the TV, watch it. Even if you're not a soccer fan, this will draw you into the game. It's going to be as good as it gets. But until then, we will be back. We will see everyone bright and early tomorrow.